What's up, guys? Welcome back to 19 Series Outdoors. I'm Dave.
I'm Jake.
And today we're going to touch on where you even start when you're looking to get a lease. What you're thinking about, take you through our journey a little bit on us getting our first lease, getting all the contracts signed, doing all the... getting everything together, because it's kind of like a daunting task.
Yeah, it's like... I don't want to say it's like buying a house, but you're not buying a house. It's an investment, so to say, you know?
Yeah, it's one of those deals where you tell yourself you're going to do it, you're going to do it, you're going to do it, but if you've never done it before, you kind of don't even know where to start.
Yeah.
But before we get into it, let's give a little shout out. It was Father's Day this past weekend, so happy Father's Day, everybody. And I also want to give a little love to our partners. Guys, if you haven't already, go check out Scrape Doctor, Hunt Light, and Wreck Broadheads. Give those guys a look. Check them out on all the socials. Go to their websites. Yeah, let's get to it. All right, so when it comes to getting a lease, you really got two options. You're either going to go with a private lease where you and a set number of people have the whole property, or you're going to go into a club style.
Yeah.
So they both have their benefits. They both have their goods and their bads, right? Your private lease is going to be more expensive because
it's you. Doing all of it. Yeah.
You're essentially, you don't own the land, but you're essentially acting as the landowner.
Yeah. You're most... From what I've seen, a lot of contracts will say, you have to maintain the land and all that.
Yeah.
Which makes sense, If the landowner's like, I don't really use that tract of land, guess what? You're mowing fields and clearing roads and all that,
Yeah, I would associate like a hunting club to be similar to if you guys have ever hunted on state game lands or state forest or something of that nature, to where anybody who's paid the membership can show up at any time and hunt. There's less guidelines. There's less... there's guidelines. I don't know how to explain it.
It's think of it as like your sportsman's club. You pay a set fee to be a member, and you have access to, the fishing pond, the gun ranges, the bar if they've got one. You know what I mean? It's just... There's a little bit more politics to it at times.
Yeah.
That, if you got some thick skin, you're a reasonable guy, a hunt club may be for you. And hunt clubs do generally get some big deer, but...
No, yeah, you're right. Most of the time you do see good deer come out of these clubs. Yeah. And I think that's because normally they're large tracts of land.
Yes.
Like, very large tracts.
Yes.
And a lot of them have like stipulations set up where you can't shoot a buck unless it's at least got 4 on one side. You know what I mean? They have these rules, these things set up. But it's just two different styles. So if you guys are looking at getting a lease, I would recommend you start there. You think about that, whether you want to go private or you want to go with a club. So this year, we decided we were going to get a lease, and we went with the private route.
Yeah.
Where it's just us. So the next step on your little checklist is you're gonna have to think about, where do you even start looking? Where are you gonna find this lease?
Yeah, this was a big one for us.
It's hard, man.
It's probably actually one of our top 3 that we really put time into, because where we are situated in PA, we have obviously the whole state. But we've also got 4 other states around us we could have went to. We have New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, and West Virginia.
Not only that, you have Ohio and you have New York.
I sort of pulled Ohio, but I kind of pulled New York out of it because it's a little further of a drive,
Yeah.
And if we got
Ohio's pretty far too. But
if we had a lease in New York, I would have not been driving up there as much.
No. But yeah, so finding a place, it's hard. It's hard to find. It's hard to even start looking, because there's not just a ton of them out there. if that makes sense.
Yeah, it's harder to find a private lease than it is a hunt club.
Yeah.
Anybody and their brother can get on there and type up hunt clubs, or even like, I found a few on Onyx, actually. I just found one the other day.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know the whole story of it. They have a small tract, but like there's a homeowner behind them that has a buttload of land.
Okay.
And I think they kind of lease it back to the hunt club. I don't know, to be exact. Getting a little off topic here, but two of the big places that we looked were actually the biggest place we looked that led us to finding ours was Facebook.
Yeah. I think Facebook is going to be your best avenue of approach here. Look on Marketplace, check out these hunting groups, and you're going to find one. It's going to take you a while. You're not going to get on there and find the perfect lease for you in 5 minutes. You might not find it for years.
Yeah, it probably took us about, a week of looking, but that's across 3 guys.
I would say I think it took a little longer than that. We found, so not only do you have Facebook, you also have your word of mouth, which is normally how guys get in these hunt clubs. But we found a broker, which I didn't even know that was a thing until we found them.
Yeah, I knew they were out there. I never used them. I've got one on Facebook that's for like duck hunting leases and all that.
Okay.
I peruse them Arkansas properties, but I was never gonna get one.
But yeah, so we found a broker. It's called. We can give them a little shout. Yeah, it's called Capital Area Bow Hunters. I think that, Capital Area Bow Hunters. And that's, if you're in the Pennsylvania, New Jersey, Maryland, Delaware area, that's where I would look. I would look at Facebook, and I would look at their website, because that's your most plethora you're going to find.
Yeah, so Capital Area Bow Hunters is quote-unquote centralized. I thought it was PA based out of our capital area, but I think
it's DC.
I think it's DC, yeah. So it's going to be, a little more regionalized to...
It's at East Coast.
East Coast for the most part. I think the furthest I saw was Virginia. I can't remember. I get emails from them all the time about new lease opportunities.
But yeah, they have quite a bit of options, and they have a good price range to where you can find something for pretty much any budget.
Yeah.
But with that, I mean, I don't really know of anywhere else you could check. There's probably other brokers out there.
Yeah, there's other brokers. I used to get the Outdoor Life newspaper when I was younger. I don't remember if they had
I would say
old sectional ads.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I would say check if you're part of a sportsman's club, something like that. I know the sportsman's club I'm a part of, they have a bulletin board where people, if they're selling something or they have something they want to get rid of, whatever, they post it up on that. But yeah, I think that's pretty much your options of looking. And
you can kind of, I say this very loosely, kind of do a little door knocking with it. I've run into some properties where I go and door knock and they're like, oh yeah, no, we lease it out.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Most of the time though, it's already booked. Someone already has it. But I mean, hey, if you door knock and someone's like, yeah, I'll lease it to you. I'm not just going to let you hunt. You give me $1,000, you can hunt it for the year.
Yeah.
I mean, there you go.
Yeah.
But I think the next thing you really got to think about is your budget, how much you want to spend, because you could spend like 10, 20 grand.
Yeah, there was one on Capital Area Bow Hunters. It was 700 and some odd acres, and I think it was in that 20 grand range.
Yeah. Now, obviously, guys, our lease, we did not spend that much money. We spent what, like $3,000? About $1,000 a person?
Yeah, it was like 3 or like 35, something like that. Something reasonable for us.
Yeah, exactly. This is our first lease. This isn't something we're going to just dump everything into. And honestly, I'm not comfortable spending more than that anyway. I don't care. It's not worth it to me. I'll rough it out in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because you got to find something. Touching back to the budget, you have to find something that's reasonable price for you, but also reasonable price for the acreage as well. And I think we made out really well for the acreage we have.
Yeah. So we spent about $3,000, a little over $3,000, and we got 50 acres. I mean,
yeah,
I'm happy with that.
Yeah, 50 acres is,
yeah,
in my opinion, more than enough.
Yeah, it's plenty for us three.
Yeah.
You also got to think about like what you're going to spend going to and from the lease, though. Like, you got to think about your fuel. You got to think about your food. Yeah. You got to think about a hotel if you're going to stay the night down there or up there or wherever your lease is at.
Yeah.
Like, it's not just, okay, I paid this $3,000, now it's free from here on out. No. Because on top of that, say you want to put a food plot in.
Yeah.
You got to think about, all right, now I got to tow a trailer down there with a tractor. That's more fuel. I got to pay for the fuel in the tractor. I got to make sure I have the trailer.
Yeah.
I got to buy the seed. You know what I mean? There's a lot of stuff going in. You want cell cameras to put on the property. Cool, you got to buy the cell cameras. You got to pay the monthly plan to get the photos.
They're not cheap.
Yeah, I mean, all this stuff is going to add up rather quickly.
But here's the thing. I feel like if you're getting into a lease, you've already taken a lot of that in consideration. If you feel comfortable enough to take on a lease, you should already feel comfortable enough to say, okay, I need this much seed, I need this much fertilizer, I need this big of a tractor, I need this, I need that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's it's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
It's a lot of stuff, and I would recommend you write down everything.
Yeah, that's what we did. I mean, we picked it up. We might have started doing that before we picked it up.
Oh yeah, we did.
We sat down for about 2 weeks straight, and we researched water holes, seed, just cell cameras, just anything you can think of that you're gonna need.
Yeah, us just watching YouTube videos of different products and things, and yeah. But just think of everything. Look at the whole picture. Don't just say, all right, cool, I'm going to drop $10,000 on this piece, and then you don't have money for everything else.
Yeah, especially if you get one that's, out of state, or it's in state, but it's 3-4 hours away.
That's going to lead us right into my next little kicker here.
Yeah.
You want to think about your location. Jake just said it, out of state. Do you want to stay in your state, or do you want to go out of state? Because you got to think about your time. You also got to think about, like, what caliper of deer, because we're talking about deer leases.
Yeah.
What caliper of deer are you looking for? For us, if we're going south to southeast, normally the deer are getting smaller.
They're getting smaller in bodies.
Yes.
Which, I'm not going to go on a scientific tangent, but I'm not. Forget that. I was gonna go on a tangent about the slower you get, the smaller you get. You end up with key deer, yada yada yada. But anyways, you can end up with smaller deer body size, but still end up with bigger racks.
But yeah, think about the caliber of deer, and also think about if I get this. Say I get this lease, right? We got ours out of state. We got ours in New Jersey. We're from Pennsylvania. We got it in New Jersey. That way we have extra tags.
Yes.
That way we can still hunt just as hard at home, harvest the same amount of deer we would normally, and then we have a lot more tags down in Jersey.
Yeah, we're still unsure on the number, but it's...
It seems like 6.
Yeah.
But we got to get more clarification on that when we go buy our licenses and all that fun stuff. But yeah, think about what state you want, because... I personally recommend going out of state, trying something new.
Yeah, it's different terrain than what we're used to. It's not timber, it's pines, it's not mountainous. You know what I mean?
It's flat.
Yeah.
It's really flat. But next, I think you should really think about who you're going to do this with. Do you want to do this by yourself? Are you going to tackle this whole deal alone? Or are you going to go into it with your family, friends, stuff like that, maybe coworkers. For us, it made sense for Jake and myself to go in this with my dad.
Yes.
Because we kind of already do it.
Yeah.
Just now we have a lease
Yeah.
to go to instead of just doing it at home around our little sections. And...
Yeah.
But yeah, think about that. Think about who you want to go with. And can you trust the person you're going into this with?
Yeah.
Because people get mad over deer. If you take somebody's target buck, some of these guys get real mad. Instead of being happy for them, they get all upset and up in arms. And
I've heard, I'm not entirely sure, but I'm pretty sure I've heard some fist fights break out over some deer.
Yeah, so really think about who you're going to go into the lease with, whether it's a smart decision or not. And if it's not, just don't do it.
Yeah.
Save yourself the trouble.
And not only that, someone outside of someone that gets mad over, a four-legged animal, make sure that you can trust them to do it. I might be jumping ahead a little bit here.
No, go ahead.
Do it by the book. You know what I mean? You don't want to get, you don't want to have someone going out there at night poaching on that lease. Well, I have permission to be here. Yada, yada, yada. I can do yada, yada. Yeah, man, still can't do that at night. Next thing you know, the game wardens are coming to lease. They're coming to your house. They're going to his house. They're going to the landowner's house, and it's a whole mess.
Yeah, especially if the lease is in your name, and, well, I guess it's going to be in everybody's name. Everybody's name's going to be written on it. But if you're the one that sought out everything and made it all happen, and then your buddy screws you over and gets in trouble, they're coming to talk to you.
Yes.
Like, there's just no way around it.
No.
It sounds stupid to say, but it's kind of like your business partners at this point.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's not a permanent investment, but it's a hunting investment.
Yeah, and you just don't get screwed.
No.
And don't screw anybody else.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, I just want to touch on one last little thing here, and that is just be respectful of the landowner, what they want, and get a contract. The contract is key here, because if you don't have that piece of paper stating who's allowed to be there, when you're allowed to be there, they could easily, whoever you give money to, could easily just be like, yeah, no, I didn't tell him he's allowed to be here. This is my property. He's trespassing.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're screwed.
Yep.
That happened to Matt.
Was that Matt who?
Hillier.
Ah.
Yeah.
I was going to say that happened to the Muley Freak guy, too. Except he didn't lease. He door knocked.
Yeah, Matt said him and his family, they leased this property. They showed up, and the guy leased somebody else. Like, they showed up to hunt, and there's people there, and they're like, who are you? What are you doing here? And he's like, well, we paid this guy. Like, so get a contract written up and follow what it says. If they tell you 3 people, don't take 5.
Yeah.
Take 3. If they say no fires, no fire pits, don't build a fire. Like, just be respectful, be legal, and just have a damn good time.
That's one thing that I do like about us going through a broker is we have, I would say we still have a plethora of questions. We have a couple of them answered now. But you don't have to talk directly to the landowner. They sort of third party it a little bit. And if you ask, they ask, and they give you an answer, whether it's what you want to hear or not.
Yeah, but at least then you know.
Yeah.
You know, like, they're going to get you an answer. You might, like you said, you might not like it, but now you know this is set in stone, and that's what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah, don't leave your trash out there. Just be a good human.
Good steward of the land.
Yeah, be a good human, and I think everything will be just fine.
I'm really excited. We're getting close.
Yeah, so our lease, it starts in July. I want to say it starts in July.
Yeah. I always get it's June or July. I think
actually
it's July. Yes, because your dad was talking about going out and looking at it here.
Yeah,
so.
yeah.
That's another thing that we didn't really touch on.
Oh yeah, we got our sight unseen.
Yeah, we went blind. We actually we actually undercut some guys. I called the guy. We totally didn't know this was going on. Um, we looked at it, a couple of leases the one night. Actually, on my birthday of all things. That was a nice birthday gift I got myself. Anyways, we were looking. We decided on this lease for the location and everything where it's at, and we said, all right, we're doing it. I called the guy. He calls me back. I'm like, hey, we're looking at this property. I just put the deposit down on it, trying to get some questions answered. He's like, oh, I just had guys walk that property today.
Yeah. Turns out, money talks.
Yeah.
And first come, first serve. We didn't know
Yeah.
it was happening, but we paid and it's ours.
But moral of the story is, do a little more research than what we did. Walk the land, see if it was deer hunted before, see what the caliber of the deer are. I think ours might be a long-term hunting investment. See how they are when we get there and what we can turn them into. But
yeah, so our circumstances were a lot more different than the average person. Yeah. We didn't have the opportunity to go walk because we're deployed.
Yeah.
So we couldn't check it out. I mean, all we could do is e-scout it, look at it on the map.
Yeah.
And fingers crossed that we like it. If we don't like it, then hey, we lost $3,000. It's not our loss either way.
No, we still
have somewhere to go. And yeah, I honestly think it's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be really good.
I think no matter what size. Personally, I'm not a big size guy. I haven't shot a big deer in a long time, but I think it's gonna. No matter what's out there, we're gonna.
Dude, I'll be more than happy to just go down there and slam does.
Yeah.
I'll just keep slaying them. Like, as many tags as they want to give me. Yeah. I'll take those all day. Don't get me wrong, I like shooting mature bucks. It makes you feel good. You're happy, you're excited, you feel accomplished, but I feel just as accomplished shooting a doe. Yeah. It's not going to matter to me.
Yeah. So.
And hey, maybe we'll get some good content out of it.
I hope so. We're going to have definitely some food plot videos, some probably some water holes and all that. Real meat of it's not going to come till September, but hey.
Yeah, it is what it is. I mean, you guys will get to see the property when we do.
Yeah. Yeah.
As soon as we get out of here, we can actually start filming and recording things, and you're going to see it for the first time that we see it. So.
Yeah. It's going to be a shared journey, so to say.
But, yeah. So hit follow, hit subscribe.
Yep. Hit the share.
Yeah, hit the share. And follow this journey along with us, You're either going to learn from us or laugh at us. Like, either way you're going to learn. It might be what not to do. Maybe, I mean, because everybody's got to be honest with themselves. We all screw up.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn. That's what makes you grow as a person.
Yeah. And we are not deer managers by any standard. We talk about it, but
no, we know what we're doing, but that doesn't mean you can always execute perfectly.
No, it's gonna be.
It'll be a good time.
Yeah,
you guys are gonna see a lot of funny stuff, I think.
Yeah, it's me shooting a bow. Yeah, the first time in 10 years.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, speaking of which, guys, little off topic, but last week I had the whole scam deal I told you guys about. Guess what? I bought a range-finding bow sight. I said, screw it, I want one, so I bought it from the dealer, because I am not dealing with any more second-hand stuff. Yeah. So yeah, that's accomplished. That's in the books.
Yeah.
I'll do a video when we get home of how to set it up.
We'll have to do a big archery video in the yard there.
Yeah, because I'm going to learn with you guys. We'll have to read the directions and figure it out. I don't know.
Yeah.
But,
So.
well, I think that's just about a wrap, dude.
Yeah, I got nothing else.
Yeah. If you guys are looking for a lease, I recommend 100% give it a shot. It's, like we said earlier, you're going to be, you don't really know where to start. You kind of just have to start.
Yeah.
Like, that's the hardest part is take that step and make it happen. If you want it, make it happen.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's an investment that you can technically terminate, but
yeah, I mean,
in my opinion, it's a good investment if you're into the outdoors. You're like us that always hunt public land or suburbs, and you're like, I just want somewhere where I can grow deer and kill them. You know?
Yeah, and at the end of the day, guys, if you don't like the lease, it's over in a year.
Yeah.
Like,
you're not paying on it.
Move on to the next one.
It's not like a plot of land you bought where you're paying on it. It's like, dang, I can't get out of it now.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. If you don't like it, don't renew it. But I recommend you looking for a spot to go. Check out one of these brokers. Get on Facebook. Look around. And, yeah, get yourself a lease if that's what you want.
Yeah.
We got a lot more to come on ours. So, again, hit those buttons for us. Hit follow, hit subscribe, share, and, yeah, we'll catch you next week.
Yes, sir.
See you guys.